Okay, I'm Jesse Gooch from Thursdays in the Water, JG Productions, and Painters Plus. And usually I'm sitting in this seat giving the interviews, but today we have Ian Brennan, who's a part of our team, and he does the production for us and the drone videos and photography and many other things. He's a part of our JG production team in Thursdays in the Water. And today he's interviewing me about Painters Plus, my primary business, and you know, he's going to ask me a few questions because tomorrow is Painters Plus sponsored night. So we are the primary sponsor for tomorrow's show, and so he has a few questions he wants to ask me. So we're trying something different, and go ahead, ask away.
All right, well, thanks, Jesse. I'm usually the one behind the camera, so now this is a bit different, but I don't mind. Why don't you tell myself and everyone about Painters Plus and how you guys got started?
Okay, yeah, so I started painting just out of high school, 18, 19 years old. I started working for a painting company. It was a smaller company. He just really only had 2 employees. He had an older Italian man and gentleman and myself. And he would set up jobs, and I would be working with this older guy, and he would kind of show me the ropes of how to paint and kind of how to really start from the ground up. And he was an expert. He's, you know, at the time, again, back then I was about 18, 19 years old, just out of high school, and this guy was much older than me, you know, at least 30 years older than me. And so he had a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge to teach me some things. So I got working with this guy for a couple years, and his name was Mike, and eventually he told me to start calling him Uncle Mike, and he kind of took me under his wing and literally showed me everything about the painting industry, how to tape, how to cut, how to roll, how to just do everything the right way, the old school way. And when he first taught me, he would yell at me a lot. You know, you're doing it wrong, you gotta do this, you gotta, you know, and he's one of those type of guys. And the only way that I knew that I was doing a good job was he stopped yelling at me. He never said you did a good job. He always said, he would just not yell at me.
Sure.
That's how I kind of knew I was doing a good job. And I liked it. Even if I did a shitty job when I first started, I liked to paint.
Yeah.
So so I learned the right way, the old school way, the real old-fashioned, old school way how to paint. And I became an expert after, you know, a few years. I really got into it. So it is a long story. I will fast forward it a bit. But what happened was the guy that we worked for had some issues, I guess you could say, and he was sort of what you don't want to hear about a contractor. He would start a job, he would get a deposit, and then he would start another job, get a deposit, and then he's 6, 7 jobs deep, and with all this deposit money, he would have me and Uncle Mike start a job, and then he would pull us off to start another one, and another one, another one, and then he wound up screwing everybody. He screwed all of the customers, and he screwed me and Uncle Mike. Didn't pay us our paychecks or anything. So what I did is I went back to each customer that was left unfinished, and I asked them. Back then we didn't have cell phones or anything back then, so you know, I would just knock on their doors and say, hey, I'm sorry that my boss left you high and dry, but me and Uncle Mike are willing to help finish it and put your house back together. So the first person said, yeah, that would be great, and I didn't know how to charge. I didn't know that part of the business at all. But as long as I was making more than $6 an hour.
Sure.
So we did that one, then we did the other one. We kind of went back to everybody that was unfinished, put them all back together. And they were happy, and then Uncle Mike said, hey, keep this train rolling. He goes, I'll work with you. And then he goes, if you can get some jobs, kid, he goes, I'll work with you, and we'll keep it going. So I did. I started to do a little marketing, and this was before internet and everything too. You know, this is in like, I want to say 1999, 2000, right around that area.
Sure.
So what I did is I had a little flyer, and it said, Painters Plus, all the stuff that we did, and then I had little tabs at the bottom with my phone number.
Yep.
And then so we'd hang them up at like laundromats and liquor stores and things like that. And then people would just rip my number out. So I always had a little marketing trick. I always wanted to look like we were in high demand, so I'd rip about 7 or 8 of them off, and then I'd hang it up, and there'd be about 4 of them left. I staggered them too, so it looked real legit.
Yeah,
and,
smart.
It worked. People started calling us, and you know, we literally just built the business from the ground up. I started with, I just barely made enough money to buy a truck. It was a '79 Ford pickup truck. I paid $300 for it. I had a wooden ladder rack. It looked like a Sanford and Son truck, but that's all I could afford at the time. And then I had one ladder, and then I had one brush. So my story is I started with one ladder, one brush, and a '79 Ford pickup truck.
Wow.
And we went to, you know, we just started to do job after job, and then I'd get, you know, reinvest, get a couple more brushes, and so on and so forth, and just sort of built it up that way.
Sure.
And then I wound up working for a company doing shipping and receiving, just because I couldn't make enough money to survive doing it the way I was doing it. So I started this job, and my shift was at 6 in the morning, and I'd end at 2:30. And then if I had a job, I'd have Uncle Mike get started for me during the day. And then about 3 o'clock, I would meet him, and we would paint until 9 o'clock at night, and then on the weekends. And I even had a job delivering pizzas on the weekends. And I was doing everything I could. I had my own apartment when I was 17. You know, I moved out, so I started this business when I was only 19 years old.
Wow.
So I had to really hustle and do things, you know, differently just to survive. So that full-time job kept me going. It was a regular paycheck. And then in 2001, they had a layoff, and they laid me off, and I made a decision at that point to start the company, like make it an actual company. So I became a corporation in 2001, and again, it was just me and Uncle Mike. And then I went full bore at that point. You know, I got a website, and I put lettering on my truck. I wound up getting a better truck, a bigger truck, so on and so forth. And we just wound up building it up. I wound up getting a couple more employees. I got to the point where I started working out of my house, and I had a garage, and then my garage was my shop. So I remember I had just paint 5-gallon buckets just stacked up to the ceiling in my garage, and ladders, and all my equipment was in my garage. So when I was hiring, I would have painters come to my house, and we'd go through my garage, and we had to walk through a maze of paint cans to get to my garage door, my kitchen door. And then I used to do my interviews at my kitchen table. And then if I hired somebody, they would be on my porch at 7 o'clock in the morning the next day. And then I did the work too. So I'd pick them up, and I was painting. I painted all day with these guys. And then I did the estimates, I did the phone calls, I did the marketing, I did everything. It's like that, like a small restaurant, you know, where it's like the guy that waits the table is the guy that cooks it, and he does the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of started out that way for a while, but it got to the point where I wound up growing it, and I outgrew my garage, and I wound up getting a building on the boulevard, and it was a builder used to own the place, and he had a small garage and a very big office. So we moved in there. Then I started to build. I started to become a business, so I started to build my office. So I had a girl that I had as a receptionist, and then I had an accountant, and I had a bookkeeper, you know. And then I started to really build my teams. I started to get. I hired a foreman. Then I started to, you know, get 7, 8, 9, 10 guys, and then I would have 3 guys on this job. I started to build crews, you know.
Sure.
So we really started kicking butt at that point. We just started becoming. We started getting the word out, and we became in high demand, and we were doing lots of jobs all through Western New York. And within 2 years, I outgrew that place. And in 2010, I moved into the building that I'm in now. It's at National. It used to be National Grinding Wheel. It's on the corner of Walk and Erie Avenue. Big building there. So that's what I needed. I needed something with a big warehouse and a little office. The other place had it was the opposite. I had a huge office in a little warehouse, so I needed something like that. And once I moved there, that's when my business really started to progress and take off, and you know, just into a level that I wasn't even expecting.
Of course. So that is an incredible story of how you got Painters Plus started. It really is. What would you say then led into Project Hope? Because I saw that you're doing something called Project Hope.
Yeah, Project Hope stands for Helping Others Paint Exteriors, and I started it in 2010 when I moved into that building. My goal was I wanted to find a family or a person in North Tonawanda that's going through hardship, financial hardship, physical hardship, and illness, that needs the exterior of their house painted, but they just don't have the ability, the financial means, or the health to be able to do it. So I teamed up with the mayor at that time, and I asked him if he would help support this. Rob Orr, who's now our senator, and he was the mayor of North Tonawanda at that point. And he said, "This sounds like a great idea," and he helped me do a press release, and we started getting applicants and that, and we screened some of our applicants. And the first year we did a Vietnam veteran who really needed his house painted, so we wound up doing his. And then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. So how it works is we do the whole house for free. We come in, we power wash it. My team comes in, we do all the high work, we scrape it, prime it, prep it, and then we started getting volunteers in the community that would want to help. And you know, it just progressed. We did a couple World War II veterans houses. We've done some cancer patient homes. We've done a lot of elderly homes. The one year we did a fire company that needed, you know, their volunteer fire company that was in need for some funds to paint their building. We did theirs the one year.
Wow.
So over the years, it really got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then the news started catching on, because you hear all these negative stories all the time. So finally we had a positive story, and it's nice to see a positive. We didn't expect it or anything like that, but Channel 2 showed up a couple times, and they interviewed us, and they interviewed the recipient and all that, and it was a good, feel-good story. And it's our way of giving back, you know, to the community. So as of last year, we broke the $100,000 mark of free paint jobs that we donated to the community. So that was, for us, it was a huge accomplishment.
That's huge, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and so now we're on our 13th year now. So yeah, we're still looking for applicants, and they can go to our website at paintersplus.us, or they can call our office at 716-693-PLUS, which is 7587. So 693-7587 is the office. And yeah, we're still accepting applications. We plan on finding somebody by the end of the month, and by the second week of September, we hope to be able to do it again this year.
That's fantastic, and it sounds like it's super easy to apply as well.
Yeah, and also if you go to the City Hall, they have applications there too, because not everybody is, you know, especially some of the older people, they don't have internet and stuff like that. So you can also go to the City Hall and grab an application, or come to my office. I'm at 800 Walk Road, corner of corner of Erie and Walk Road. Just come on in there, and we have applications there as well.
Fantastic. That Project Hope, that is absolutely great. So, you know, Jesse Gooch, you're also the founder of Thursdays on the Water. How is Painters Plus associated with Thursdays on the Water being a sponsor?
Yeah, well, I've been in the concert business for a very long time. Music is another huge passion of mine, and I started JG Productions and Thursdays on the Water 7 years ago, back in 2017. I'll save the story for that, maybe for a future interview some other day. But yeah, Painters Plus has always been a big sponsor and supporter of Thursdays on the Water. And as Thursdays on the Water is getting bigger, and we're starting to get some bigger bands and some national bands and things like that, our expenses are getting higher. So Painters Plus is a $25,000 sponsor. So we, literally, Painters Plus spends $25,000 worth of, effort into this thing to help Thursdays in the Water become what it is.
Right.
So yeah, I want to thank my team. I have some really good employees. They've been with me a long time, and we have a great client base. Our customers are great. We're just really blessed to be doing what we're doing.
Of course.
And yeah, we even started another location, Painters Plus, back in 2014 in West Palm Beach, Florida. So we have another division down there as well.
Fantastic.
And yeah, we're just really proud and excited to see how we've grown over the years. And we're always going to be involved with the community, whether it's Project Hope, or we also support a lot of local youth programs and Little League baseball teams, hockey teams. I'm really involved with the Boy Scouts and Painters Pluses. So we even sponsor other concerts Painters Plus does. So we just try to give back as much as we possibly can to the community, because the community's been very good to us. So yeah, we're really excited to be a part of Thursdays in the Water. And tomorrow, Painters Plus is the primary sponsor, the head sponsor for Thursdays in the Water. We got Molly Hatchet, who just came in. Our guy Jimmy just picked them up from the airport, and they're getting set up at their hotel. And we got this band called Peacemaker. If you get a chance to check them out, really great up and coming band.
Sure.
And they're going to start, doors open at 5 at Gratwood Park tomorrow. And Peacemaker goes on from 6 to 7:30. And then we're going to have a little bit of a break in between, and we're going to do our 50-50 raffles, and we have a lot of giveaways and stuff like that. 8:30 until 10 is going to be Molly Hatchet. And we have a Painters Plus VIP tent that I purchased for my employees and my staff and my sponsors and everybody that's associated with my company. So we got that going on. We got our Painters Plus tent there. If you want to request an estimate, or if you want to apply for Project Hope, we have somebody that will be manning the booth tomorrow to be able to take care of that for you. And we're planning on doing a couple giveaways and some really cool stuff tomorrow. So it's going to be good. We're super excited for it. And finally, I think this is one of the first Thursdays where they said the weather was going to be nice. I always avoid talking about the weather during these things.
Yeah.
Because you know what kind of summer we had. But,
I know.
But tomorrow's looking good.
It's looking really good, yeah.
And so we're excited about it. So come thirsty, come hungry, support our local vendors, and yeah, that's what helps keep it a free show. No outside coolers or beverages are allowed. Please purchase them from our vendors and help keep this a free event. And you might want to get there a little bit early tomorrow. We are expecting a good-sized crowd, and it's also bike night, so we're going to have a lot of bikes, which we normally do. We get hundreds of bikes show up to this thing. And we love the biking community. I'm a biker. I got a couple Harleys. I'm a Harley guy. And so we want to invite all of our biker friends to come out tomorrow. And we're just looking to have a great time, and we look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow.
Fantastic. All right, Jesse. Well, folks, that is the Thursday's pregame interview, and thank you, Jesse, so much.
You got it, brother.
All right.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.